Most people are taught that having too many interests is a flaw, that if you don't pick one thing early and stick to it forever, you're unfocused, unreliable, or behind in life. So if your mind keeps branching out, if you're curious about many paths at once, you may have wondered if something is wrong with you. But psychology suggests the opposite. If you have many interests, you may be naturally built for what researchers call the M-shaped future, a life where depth and variety work together, not against each other. The M-shaped future isn't about doing everything at once. It's about developing multiple strong pillars of skill over time, moving between them as the world changes and as you change. And if this resonates with you, it's not accidental. Here are the deeper psychological reasons why people with many interests often thrive in this kind of future. First, psychology shows that high curiosity is linked to cognitive flexibility. People with many interests don't just collect hobbies, they build mental bridges. Your brain naturally looks for patterns, connections, and transferable skills. For example, someone interested in psychology, design, and storytelling may not see those as separate paths. Their mind blends them into something new, like communication, strategy, or creative leadership. Research indicates that cognitively flexible people adapt faster to change because they don't over-identify with a single role. Instead of asking, "Who am I supposed to be forever?" they ask, "How can I apply what I know now?" That's not confusion, that's adaptability, one of the most valuable traits in an uncertain future. Second, people with many interests often have an internal motivation system, not an external one. Psychology shows that intrinsically motivated individuals explore because something feels meaningful, not because it brings quick rewards. You may lose interest when something becomes repetitive or purely transactional. That doesn't mean you lack discipline. It means your mind is wired to learn, integrate, and move forward once growth plateaus. In an M-shaped future, this becomes a strength. Instead of burning out in one narrow lane, you grow across different phases of life. You build layered competence instead of early exhaustion. Your curiosity isn't a distraction, it's your internal compass recalibrating. Third, research on identity development shows that people with multiple interests often delay identity foreclosure. In simple terms, they don't lock themselves into one identity too early. This can feel uncomfortable when others seem so certain. You might think, "Everyone else has it figured out, why don't I?" But psychology suggests that identity exploration leads to stronger long-term alignment. People who explore more tend to make choices that fit who they truly are, not who they were pressured to become. The M-shaped future rewards this, because when industries shift, roles evolve, and skills overlap, you don't have to start over, you reconfigure. Your past interests don't disappear, they stack. Fourth, people with many interests often have a higher tolerance for ambiguity. You're able to sit in the in-between longer than most. Psychology shows that ambiguity tolerance is linked to creativity, problem-solving, and leadership. While others rush towards certainty, you stay curious. You may not have a clean, linear story yet, but you're comfortable exploring without immediate clarity. In the future world of work and identity, that's rare. Most people panic when old rules no longer apply. You adapt because uncertainty feels familiar to you. What once felt like being lost becomes your advantage. Fifth, having many interests often means you see yourself as a system, not a single label. You don't reduce your identity to one role. Research in psychology shows that people with more complex self-concepts recover better from setbacks. If one area fails, your entire sense of self doesn't collapse. If a job ends, a path changes, or an interest fades, you still have others. You are not your title. You are your capacity to learn and reorient. This is exactly what the M-shaped future requires. People who are resilient, multidimensional, and self-directed. If you've ever felt behind because your life doesn't look linear, if you felt pressure to shrink yourself into one narrow box, psychology suggests you may not be behind at all. You may be early. Your many interests aren't random. They're signals, pointing toward a life built on evolution, not limitation. The future doesn't belong to those who chose perfectly at 18. It belongs to those who can grow, shift, and integrate over time. So instead of asking, why can't I just stick to one thing? Try asking, what kind of future am I actually built for? If this video helped you feel understood, you're not alone here. Subscribe for more psychology insights about personality, identity, and hidden strengths, and let's keep making sense of the parts of you that were never meant to be small.